I want you to keep spamming some emotes in the chat to support our first streamer today. First streamer on this final day, she is Kari. She's into Seiyu, that's Japanese voice actors. She likes speedrunning, but also just enjoying obscure little games. Which is what this event is all about, is it not? Enjoying obscure little games of different varieties of obscurity. Of course, we're offsetting the Nintendo monopoly and yada, yada, yada. So she's perfect for the event. Please give her an especially warm welcome in the chat room. Spam some emotes. It's the first time on the show and she's opening up the last day, everyone. Not an easy job. Give your warmest welcome to Karaoke, everybody.
All right, here we go. Wow, I'm opening a day of a marathon. Hello chat, hello, welcome, good morning. Good morning! I'm Karaoke, and I will be playing Silhouette Mirage for you all. This is a Saturn game made by Treasure. It is a lot of fun, I love it very much. It did come out in English on the PS1, which is also a non-Nintendo system, isn't that neat? Yep, Working Designs released this in the West on the PlayStation. They did want to release this version, but they decided, I think they didn't have enough time to release this by the time the PlayStation version came out. This is technically the better version of the game, and I'll explain why as we go along, so we're just going to go ahead and get started here. This will be more of a speed run in the showcase, just because that's how I'm actually very used to playing this game, so we're going to be going very fast. I do also use a turbo controller. We do allow turbo in the speed run. And that's because there's a lot of text mashing, a lot of button mashing in the game when you don't have your weapons at the max. So we like to save our wrists here. Alright, let's go. On a speedrun, that's where the timer would start. We're old school, we do it by character control. I've been speedrunning this game since 2006. This was my first speed game. I started speedrunning on the PlayStation version, and then switched over to the Saturn version mostly when I acquired that version. This game's relatively expensive. I say it's like about $50, $60 to get nowadays. Even the Saturn version, the prices went way up on it. I think I destroyed that enemy. So here we are farming money. We need to get 900 money before the end of the first part of the second area. And that's to get our weapon that we'll be using for the rest of the game. As you can see at the top left, we have our HP and spirit bars. You're gonna jump all the way down there, aren't you? And also our money count. We have 420 money, nice. Alright, come here, you. Good money farm. 551's pretty good for now. Yeah, this little dancing guy, that is my weapon. He's dancing to the music. That's my weapon, my level 1 Sarosa, level 1 Sloth. I forget what the, actually, I think it was earlier this year or late last year, a full English translation of this game came out. Fan translation for this version came out. I played through it on stream once. And I forget what they translated the weapons as. They're not exactly the 7 deadly sins, but they're pretty close. The names are pretty close to them to show, like, how corrupted they are. So to explain some more mechanics of this game, you have two sides on you. You have your red side, your Mirage side, and your Silhouette side, your blue side. Enemies will come typically in one of the two elements as well, like these guys here are Silhouette enemies. So to defeat them, I have to shoot them with my Mirage shots. Otherwise, I will just drain their spirit. Alright, they're starting to toss their heads at me, so I'm going to go ahead and defeat a couple of them, pick up their money. Alright, we got some good money here. We can move on. 671, we need about 300 more monies. Please let me farm your money. want them dropping down to the side there. And don't take my money from me, please. Because then they're not going to respawn. 712, not too good there. They're not going to respawn when I come back down here and come back up here. Come here, you. And then you. 802, need 100 more. There's only going to be like 2 or 3 enemies that respawn here. So, working designs change number 1. What they did in the PlayStation version is 882. I need 1 more. When you fire your weapon in the PlayStation version, the English version, you lose your spirit. That doesn't happen in this version, or in the PlayStation Japanese version, any Japanese version of the game. 897, really? Alright, now we're good. So we're gonna go ahead, jump up here, and this is a secret shop. Yep, this is, Treasure also made Ikaruga. This is like a precursor to Ikaruga in a way. So if I shoot an enemy with the same color they are, I will drain their spirit. If I shoot them with the opposite, I will destroy them. Same with me. If I get shot with a same color shot, I will take spirit damage. And if I get shot with a opposite color shot, I will take HP damage. So that now we have our level 6 Sarosa. I did not destroy that enemy there. Come here, you. We have our level 6 weapon. We're going to be using this for the rest of the game. As you can see, it is very broken. You will see here. This is a boss coming up, our first boss. And that was a boss. Yeah, level 6 weapon is very overpowered for this point of the game. It'll even out as we get later in the game, though. And here. Didn't get them all on the reflection, so we push them off the edge there. That is a neutral type enemy. Neutral type enemies can only be destroyed by reflected shots. In the English version, those neutral walkers have twice as much HP as they do as they do in this version, because the default difficulty setting is set to the hard difficulty instead of the normal difficulty. So that is Moses. He's another boss, and now he becomes our friend, because in the next cutscene, the shelter in the background blows up, and he gets betrayed by his kind of betrayed by his evil boss person, and he decides to join us and help us out instead. We're like the messenger of justice. We're trying to restore the world or save the world back to the way it was before this big calamity happened that split everybody into the 2 attributes. And we just woke up, and we're trying to figure out what to do. We're not exactly entirely sure, so we're just gonna go towards what's called Edo. Yes, there is an easy difficulty. You can access it via there's an options menu that unlocks via a code in this version and via defeating all 5 paths in the PS1 version. And there is an easy difficulty you can select in the special options menu there. So another change between the Saturn and PlayStation versions, the backgrounds here are more detailed. So you saw that highway in the background there. That layer is not in the PS1 version. Same with the reflections on the buildings here. The sound effects in this version are also a little bit more buffed, I think. So crouch dashing, double tap down to crouch, or tap down to crouch and then dash. That's the fastest method of movement for anything longer than one screen. Oh, okay, he's gonna run over there then. Really, you're supposed to reflect his first shot and then grab him and punch him over onto the side. That's the fastest way to defeat him. He was another little mini-boss. If you let that battle go too long, he'll get really noisy because his armor is so loud, and the people in the background will start throwing those neutral objects at you, which will also damage you. Can I jump down? Thank you. Alright, we got the dash glitch there. Normally you walk into that cutscene, but if you hit it while you're dashing, then you will just dash into the cutscene instead. And this is our first Zohar fight. Zohar also has 2 elements like we do. So we're just gonna punch them. I said we're going to punch them down into the corner and just juggle them here for the entire fight. Fight ends at 50% HP, so not too difficult. And yeah, working designs, I have a love-hate relationship with them. I love that they brought over so many obscure games in the 90s that other companies wouldn't or couldn't touch. Either due to Sega or Sony's policies at the time for releasing games, or just the fact that they were long JRPGs in an era when Japanese companies thought that the West hated JRPGs. On the flip side, a lot of the changes they made to games are very hit or miss. I think the changes made in this game make it very difficult, but a good challenge to play. I think the changes made in Magic Knight Rayearth, for example, another Saturn game they released, which they took like 3 years to release here, due to problems. I think the changes made to the difficulty in Rayearth make that a much more interesting game, instead of a very, very easy anime tie-in RPG. Also, adding things in that game like skipping cutscenes, cutting out a lot of the voice acting and moving it to a side story area to allow you to skip more text, makes the speedrun like 90 minutes faster or something like that. The English speedrun for Rayearth is a lot faster than the Japanese one. So that was another mini-boss. 2 mini-bosses in a row, actually. They kind of went down pretty easily. And now we have the first really RNG boss of the run, the giant gun. I recommend watching the TAS for this game. There is a TAS of it. The way they do this because they can, you know, TAS the bullets. Or just TAS the way they're facing to reflect the bullets, because this is a neutral enemy, is pretty impressive. That was a dud. Good laser shot. All triples, and... oh, I hit that one. Nice. Alright. You don't want to damage the enemies too much, because then they might come out as duds. Otherwise, you just gotta stand here and reflect and hope that you hit the shots back at it. You can, because of the increased damage to neutral enemies in the English version, you can 1 round this boss. 2 rounds is pretty much optimal in that version. You can obviously, if I had gotten 1 more shot, I could have 2-rounded this one, but we're gonna 3-round it here. This game is super cute. I got it when I was a kid. Like, I bought it when it came out in around the year 2000, because I saw it in a magazine, in a Game Informer magazine that I still have. I cut the pages out of that magazine copy and saved them, just because it looked so charming. And the main character was cute, and it just looked fun. Alright, here's my favorite boss in the game. She's a giant flying catgirl fish. And she likes flowers very much, and she wants you to buy her flowers. Come on. To damage her, you have to hit her arms that come out. They do, every time you destroy an arm, it does 40 HP damage to her. Saturn leg, Saturn leg! Alright, she's gonna switch sides here. Oh, she's gonna keep pink, okay. If she switches sides like that, sometimes she will... oh, she does have a blue arm up, okay. So 2 more, destroy these 2. Oh, this pink one. That was nearly perfect for a Dynamis fight. Oh, Hanakate, buy my flowers. We do not purchase flora from giant homicidal flying fish, though. I would go slower through the text, but this is the Japanese version. My Japanese isn't good enough to translate the entire thing, and I don't have a flash cart or something like that to play the English translation on, so... Someone is texting me at like 10 in the morning. I don't like it. Who is doing that? I am gaming over here. We don't need distractions. We're on to the 3rd area of the game. We are so gaming right now. It actually was rather difficult when I played through the retranslation of this game to actually not go through it fast. I was like, I have to not skip the cutscenes, I have to read the text. I think this game, translation-wise, the English translation is pretty good. The Working Designs translation is pretty good. It does keep the plot pretty much intact and just throws in a few, in the non-plot sections, a few jokes here and there. I think it's relatively okay compared to some other ones they've done. Where it was just like jokes in the main area. Alright, here we have the Indiana Jones section. We can, by going this fast, we can just unlock the camera here. We want to go up here, because it's faster. If you go down, there's another secret shop, though. Alright. Unlock the camera, please. There we go. Alright, we beat it. Yeah. You wanna, if you get to the end of that section before the go thing shows, it's a lot faster. The lower section's also slower because you gotta wait for the wheel to, break through a wall. So here we're just gonna normal dash, we gotta position ourselves right for this boss. Oh, a little bit too far. He's shy, so we gotta turn around and wait for him to come out. And this guy looks friendly. He's gonna give us a present, too. Oh. Well, what's this? Oh no, it's night outside. Oh no, he's not friend. He's werewolf. So just get up in his face and shoot him. He goes down pretty quickly with the level 6 Sarosa. In the English version, you want to grab him and punch him into the corner, because then he will break. His AI just completely gives up and he just stands there. Oh yeah, Working Designs had really good English voice acting for the time. Considering a lot of their games, they had in-house voice acting, so all of their games have pretty much the same set of voice actors. This is another boss, by the way. You need to hit the smiley face with one of your colors to change him to that color, and then hit his body with the opposite color to damage him. He goes down. Again, really fast. We are still very overpowered for this part of the game. Actually, recently there was an interview with one of the voice actors who worked on Working Designs games. If you look on YouTube, I forget what channel it was on, but she did an interview about working there and doing her parts for, like, Lunar and other games. It was a pretty good pretty interesting interview. I speedrun a good number of Working Designs games. I speedrun this one, I speedrun Magic Knight Rayearth, I speedrun Growlancer 2. They just kind of attract me for some reason. Alright, we're fighting Zohar again, so again, we wanna... Oh! Change sides on me. So Zohar's special, and when you hit them with the same element, instead of absorbing their spirit, they just reflect it. It's just gone. Which becomes a problem in the English version, because you cannot drain spirit from Zohar. And in the English version, when your spirit drains when you use your weapon, that's a problem later on, and we'll see that boss later on, why the end game is a problem in the English version. Yeah, it's area 3 down. We're on area 4 already. Yeah, through and through, this is a game by Treasure. Treasure made this game, Working Designs just translated it. I actually don't know who made Rayearth, and I had to look that up, who actually made Rayearth. And Growlancer is actually an Atlas Game Arts game, I believe. Atlas for sure. Oh, really? The Phantasy Star team did that. That's nice. So here we have, you know, as somebody said earlier in chat, dashing is the most awesome thing for speedrunners, right? Well, this is the worst thing for speedrunners. This is an auto-scroller. This is one of 2 auto-scrollers in this stage. We cannot prevent the amount of times we have to turn this car. We have to turn it, it has to turn, it goes, let to count here. It goes right, and then down, or up. Right, right, up, left, up, and then right. So there's 5 sections. Can I imagine if Working Designs got their hands on Sakura Wars with a big event with a multinational cast? I can see them pulling what ADV did for the Sakura Wars anime dub. I believe it was the TV series dub, where they gave accents to all the characters. So Iris had a French accent, Maria had a Russian one, Kana had a New York accent for some reason, Koran had a Chinese one. I could see Working Designs, if they had gotten Sakura Wars, I could see them pulling something like that. Yeah, they did the dub. They did the dub for the OVAs. They did the dub for the, they had a different cast for the TV series, and then they had another different cast for the... Whoever did the movie had another different cast, too. I'm a big Sakura Wars fan as well. Sakura Wars is one of my favorite franchises. I'm like looking up at my shelf where I have like the giant collection box, and I own the first Sakura Wars game 5 different times. I have the Game Boy Color, the pink Game Boy Color for it. I really want the pink Dreamcast as well. Alright, we're gonna be really careful here. We can have a soft lock at this screen if we are not careful about defeating all the enemies correctly. So we're gonna defeat those. Please run off screen. Thank you. Okay. That was close. Those enemies that have their heads blow off and don't explode and just run around, they can get stuck in memory or something, and the game won't progress. And I was like, please run off screen and deload yourself. Oh, you worked on the fan translation for Game Boy. Nice. I have that. I've been meaning to play it. Because I have the on cart, but I also have the fan translation loaded on my 3DS. This is a boss, by the way. He runs around a lot and will make shadow forms of different items, like a big giant laser, a dragon, a tank, and he will shoot you with those on Silhouette side. But he goes down pretty quickly. Nice, 2 and 3. I played the first 2 Sakura Wars games in Japanese on the PSP version, and I haven't played 3 yet. Or 4, obviously. So get some good hits on her by knocking her down. You can also juggle her, but in this version with Turbo, she goes down right here. The damage just stacks up right when she's coming down off the slots machine. If you take too long, the slots will roll and keep rolling, and she has iframes during them. You want to punch her into position, or else she'll take forever to walk over there. Matanaishu! See you next week! Because she runs a TV program, so it runs weekly. And we were on TV, yay! Alright, here's our second auto-scroller. Soup boss. We're at soup, by the way. Why are we punching enemies at the soup store? Because we want to change the flavor of the soup to damage the mean rich guy in the back. Why do I choose the left side? Because muscle memory. So we want to keep the soup blue, even though he is changing it back to neutral pink here, or the enemies are trying to change it back to pink by the items they're throwing in. Every time he sniffs any amount of blue bubbles, he will take 8 damage. He has 100 HP, so yes, it is not an even, what do you call it? Whenever he sniffs any amount of pink bubbles, he will get spirit according to how many pink bubbles he sniffed in. And when he gets to 100 spirit, he will fire a giant nose beam at you. So here, we're just going to power punch, as it is called in the English version. Power punch enemies in over and over and over again. Come on, I need enemies. This soup is so delicious. I mean, look what's being tossed into it. Like, it's clams, broccoli, whole chicken. I think it's bok choy right there. Corn. Spinach, crab, potato, pepper, and of course pumpkin. But the pumpkins are blue. Oh, there's carrot too. Onion. You gotta have onion in soup. Alright, so he's got 2 more sniffs to go. I underestimated the power of soup! It could be a tofu. Why there's a platform in the soup? It could be tofu. It could be a rock, you know, a salt rock or something. So, yeah, there was too much soup and it explodes now. We, underestimated the power of soup. And we are now shot out and hit back into the warp from Moses here. That's the last time we're going to be using him to transport to a new area. That's as far as he can take us. Pretty close to this ruins. Pretty close to Edo. It's this ruin city here. I forget the name of the ruin city though. But here I'm actually not going to turbo through this text because the turbo actually makes it lag. So we'll just mash through it as fast as we can. So this is Prinsdam. They are a 2-headed goat snake thing. It doesn't really matter which direction you go unless you're like aiming for secret shops. There's a secret shop, I believe, on the right side. We go left because there's 1 less text box in this version. In the English version, there's 1 less text box on the right version. So we go right in the English version. I don't know how they did that, or why they did that. I'm gonna switch my weapon to the level 1 here, just in case I take enough spirit damage to absorb my weapon. Because all the bosses here are neutral type! Come on. Come on, position yourself. Thank you. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. So Spider Bro here. Just gotta reflect enough shots back at him. You can go down in the English version in like 3 of those, I believe. One more. Up. There we go. I almost killed myself standing in that web there. Come on, up top. Over the enemies. Up top here. There's a lot. The tutorial goes over a lot. It does. And now we are at, because it goes through like every single like throw direction you can do and everything. It's not that difficult in terms of controls. So now we have the most annoying boss in the game. Red Rum, Red Rum, Red Rum. That's what he shouts in the English version. He is neutral type, so you must reflect shots at him. He has iframes. You're taking neutral damage because these enemies are all neutral. He's neutral. He can switch what element the enemies are. And you can just get swarmed by them too, and it can get really, really annoying. So we're just gonna sit here and reflect. Try to defeat some of these enemies, not get hit too much, while trying to hit him at the same time. Alright, I am low on HP, that's fine. I would like to not take a death, but sometimes it happens. English version, you want to take a death by this point here. Also, that was an example right there, that enemy that shot that other enemy. Neutral enemies can damage each other sometimes. Come on. Alright, blue, that's fine. Stand still, stand still, stand still. Alright. Come on, come over here. Shoot me. Shoot me. Alright, his knockback is so severe sometimes. Oh, spirit down, that's... Oh, I-framed. Alright, cool. My spirit's a level down, which is meh, but we should be fine for the next boss, because we do have another boss in this area. This area is... The game's getting to be just strings of bosses at this point. But I am low on HP, so I might take an HP death here. Better to do it here than in the next area when the enemies... There's a neutral set of bosses coming up, and it's more annoying to take a death there. Or not have full HP, because it can get really annoying. Or even not have full spirit at that point. Alright, this is Megiddo. He's been following us around for a while, and I was going to test our metal. Oh, that's neutral. Those roses are neutral type, and you don't want to get your... He can do like a wave of them that'll just take your whole spirit and HP bar all at once. Come on, stay down here. Stay down here. We only have to get him to half HP at least, so... Alright, half HP. He gets tossed back up here. We're good to go. He's like, okay, I'm out of here, and by the way, I killed Prince Dam. Bye! So, Prince Dam blows up, we escape, and we're gonna fall down into the ruined city here. Which might? I don't think this is Edo. We fall down to the next area. We're pretty close, though, where we need to go. Come on, I'm gonna take a death right here, so come on, go ahead and shoot me. That's just to get my spirit back. Alright. Both to get my spirit back, and holy crud, the lag from the flashing. Get my HP back mostly for this next little bit here. Because we have not just one, but 2 walkers. And a lot of lag. So I'm gonna go ahead and destroy this other shooter here, just to get rid of it. Okay, there's all the enemies are off screen now. We got the lag done. So the fastest way to get through this section is to push them off the edge there with your level 6 weapon, while reflecting whatever shots they have. Come on. Is a slow-moving walker and a fast-moving one. Oop, we teleported it to the top. The slow-moving one's a lot easier to knock off the edge than the fast-moving one is. Alright, small little arena here. These flying enemies. Oh! One was off-screen. I got worried there for a second. I'm like, there better not be a soft lock I haven't found there yet. Alright. The hall button prey hallway, that is the one room in the game where you need to use the crouch dash or else you will take damage. So if you didn't know the crouch dash existed and you just tried a normal dash, you're going to get bounced back by all the falling rocks. Alright, this here is Har. He's the other leader of the, he's the leader of the Mirages. Megido's leader of the Silhouettes, and he's gonna leave us with a nice boss here. And a good laugh. Oh, ho, 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 ho. This guy is very ravenous, by the way. This is Gargantua. And, or I think that's his name. He's a two-headed dragon trash compactor. So what we need to do is we need to lure his grabby hands to the enemies that are the opposite color of his wings, so he can eat them. And if he eats 10... Oh, I got hit by the jumpy thingy. If he eats 10 enemies of the opposite color, he will then die. I do not know what happens if he eats enemies of the same color. I've never had that happen, like, in a very long time. Alright, one more. Come on. Come here, enemies. One more. Alright, cool. So that's gonna be a split, a 4-4-3, a 4-3-3 split. So he has one in his hand there. Okay, good. When they start spinning like that, that means you cannot take them out of his hand, and he's gonna eat them no matter what. When he gets up to 4 enemies, he will just start eating them right away. And you can see the trash compactor in the back, squishing them down. He's gonna switch, once he eats the enemies of that color, he's gonna switch to that color. That's why we're leaving the blue enemies alive right now. Alright, and just repeat the process. This time we only need 3, so see if we can only get 3 instead of having 4. That'll make it a little bit faster. Grabby hands. Grabby hands. Okay, there we go. You kind of want to keep his hands even as well. And his AI will also go towards enemies that are the same color as he is. Alright, come on, grabby hands. Alright, we've got 3. We're gonna go ahead and start destroying the other ones. Just to save time, so he can start grabbing the other ones, and... Once he starts... Oh, he grabbed one. Once he starts trash compacting, he can't grab any more enemies. So there's 3. And he's back to blue, so we need to have him grab pink enemies. If you don't know what this boss does, he can take forever. If you don't understand what he's doing. I knew someone that played this game that was just stuck at this boss because they didn't understand how they were damaging him. I think they eventually just kind of lucked into winning. But yeah, very hard to notice because you never you're not directly damaging this boss. He's just having his own good time here. Alright, well we got 4 at the end there. We'll give him an extra snack, why not? Now I just need to reduce lag. And keep my HP's pretty good. We're gonna wait here in the center for him to die. And he blows up. Up, Zohar. So now we have another Zohar fight. And this fight's a little special because there is a 2-minute timer on it. And either defeating Zohar in 2 minutes or running out the timer depends on your path for the final bosses of the game. No, please come back. So because 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes is faster than 2 minutes, we want to defeat Zohar. And it's going to be a little hard right now because we have those reflector thingies up. They're gone now. Oh, now they're back. Alright, we're just going to try to shoot them. They're pretty low HP, and my spirit is also low because I took a bunch of neutral shots. But you can defeat Zohar in 20 seconds if you get him in the corner and punch him down like that. Yeah, they really want you to finish that fight in 2 minutes, although as a kid, I never did. In early speedruns, I didn't either, because I thought, oh, I want to take the easiest path through because it's easier. Just because a path is easier in speedrun doesn't mean it's faster. This game is super neat. I highly recommend playing it. Either finding a hard copy, and playing it yourself, or finding other methods to play it. Again, the Saturn version does have a English fan translation patch to play on, and of course there is a PlayStation version as well, both in Japanese and in Working Designs English. So here is Cypher Zohar, giant boss with multiple parts to hit and 5,000 HP. You cannot absorb spirit from Cypher Zohar, or Zohar in general. In the English version, this is a problem because your attacks, your weapons use spirit. It is very easy to just run out of spirit on this boss and get stuck. And have when you run out of spirit, if you have multiple weapons, your current weapon will get absorbed. And you can just easily use up all your continues, which I'm gonna use one here actually. To get my HP back and my spirit back. You can use up all your continues on this boss because you just keep running out of spirit, and then you're stuck with if you bought another weapon, you're stuck with a low-level weapon because you know, your spirit keeps draining and draining and draining. So good job, English version. That is the worst part of the changes that was made, and we're gonna defeat him right here. So we defeat Zohar there. Zohar explodes into math. And we're going to make our decision here soon. If we want to restore the world or leave it be. We're going to take the faster option here. We're just going to leave the world as it is. Instead of forcing it back to the way it should, way we think it should be. So final shop, we don't need it. So go ahead and leave the world as it is. This is another boss split there. If we chose the other option, we would go to the true final boss, the good ending boss. Here we go for what I call the medium ending. I call it medium because the first fight's hard, and then we got easy fight here. Because we're just refighting Megiddo at this point. Oop, I pressed the wrong button. Come on, you're almost down to half. You can catch him on the way up as well. All right, so here he's gonna transform because Har is gone. He loses his mind, his other half, and we're gonna use this thing called Parasite Bomb, and hopefully hit him with it. All right, this. Nope, not gonna kill him just yet. Alright. Wait for him to attack again. And Spirit Bomb one more time. And that's it. I switched my weapons there right at the end there, so I can have my level 6 ready to go once my spirit drained again. We defeat Megiddo, we put him out of his misery. And we're like, okay. Now what? Well, we're gonna leave the world to itself to figure out how it's going to go in the future now. And we'll go ahead and go through the beginning of the credits here, since we got a little, you know, why not? Listen to the nice song. Again, I highly recommend playing this game. It is a kind of a lost treasure, haha. Not really, in terms of treasure games even, it's not even remembered as one that exists typically, especially because Mischief Makers came out in the same year as this in Saturn, and then the PlayStation was just kind of, you know, the PlayStation version was kind of ignored, I think. Yeah, highly recommend playing this. It's a lot of fun. The speed run's a lot of fun if you want to learn the speed run. It's once you learn how to play the game, the speed run's pretty easy. So yeah, I'm Karaoke. I am Karaoke everywhere on the internet. You'll find me on that username pretty much everywhere if you want to follow me on you know, Twitch, Twitter, Blue Sky, wherever. I am there. I don't stream too often, but when I do, it's typically anime style games, or I do a lot of like card opening streams too. You might see that in my highlights. I do a lot of TCG opening type of things, or casual gameplay of puzzle games and action RPGs and other things. So, yep, there's my card. I have everything on there. Maybe you'll find me in Final Fantasy 14 even because I have that linked on there. So yeah. Look forward to the rest of today for the rest of the marathon. It's going to be a great time of a lot of more obscure and non-Nintendo games that need more love. So thanks again for having me. Yeah, we got lyrics. It's a good song. In the English version, obviously the song's in English, but also you can control Zohar on the ending screen and beat up enemies, which is kind of fun. Instead of just watching them all go by in the credits like this and walk at you. One of the other cool changes that Working Design's made, I think, is that playable credits. for the other enemy to come on now. Oh, P-Trip too. Walk that. Yeah, we prance like that IRL, don't we? We just prance and everything. The other things that Working Designs added, they added a, what do you call it? In that 2-minute timer thing, they added a side mode where you can fight between 2 players with that mode. It's very lopsided. The Zohar player will pretty much always win because you're stuck with a Shina with level 1 weapons and no way to absorb spirit. So it's a fun mode, but it's also horribly one-sided and not completely thought through. And I think that's all the major changes they did for this game, other than... Yeah. The PlayStation version has an extra boss, both Japanese and English, has an extra boss, 2 extra bosses in it. One of them that appears if you haven't died before the end of Stage 5, and the other if you take what I call the easy route, so don't defeat Zohar in 2 minutes and then choose not to save the world. There's an extra boss there. Oh, also in the credits in the English version, they thank Mountain. I think they believe they thank Mountain Dew in the special thanks section in the Working Designs part. I'm pretty sure they thank Mountain Dew in every single one of their games.
Thank you for playing.
Yep, thank you for playing. And then we get taken back to the title screen. And that's still at Mirage! Yay! Thank you again for having me. It's been fun.
That was Kari, everyone. How about a big show of hand clapping emojis or whatever emote you got there in the tank? Spamming copious amounts in chat for your first streamer of the final day of Best of Nintendon't 7. Not an easy job, and that was a masterful playthrough. It was a really, really cute game. So I'm sure you can do better than that, which you're currently doing in chat right now. It's not like your keycaps and your keyboard's gonna get consumed